We work with the students where they are. We meet them where they are, and we work with them. And they started off as coal, and by the time they leave Langston, they're diamonds. And so at Langston, we say, enter to learn, exit to serve. And that is what our motto, our mantra is. And I'm just so glad to be part of this Lion Nation.
Shaping the next generation of leaders takes a distinct vision. Today, we're sitting down with author, scholar, and School of Business Dean, Dr. Daryl Green, to talk legacy, literature, and what comes next. Looking back as your first day as the dean, what was the most pressing challenge that you faced, and how did you know to address that?
Okay, great question. I came in 2024 spring, and Langston is a historical school. Business school has been successful, has graduated a lot of students, but the student outcry wanting change was just too loud for me to ignore. And so I had to be patient. I did the only thing that I could do. I prayed and came up with what we call the Nehemiah strategy. And so that's one is you got to watch. You got to watch what's going on in the environment. You have to fight. And so fighting is not with your hands, but it's really with your brand. And so one of the things I saw was the business school brand being damaged. And so we started a social media campaign, getting the word out about the good things we're doing. The other thing is building. I think what's unique about Langston School of Business, very few people can do the same thing. They can't fight and build and watch. And we were able to do all three things at the same time. So I just think, I think the legacy of trying to carry the mantle of leadership for the business school was a challenge for me. And just trying to meet the needs of the students, I think was the greatest challenge for me.
On the backbone of you talking about your leadership, what decision really defined your leadership here in the School of Business?
So when I first got here, I wanted to know what was going on. In the Pulse, you got to talk to students. Right. So I never will forget Nate Edwards. He was SGA president at the time. He was sitting in one of those chairs in my office, and I was just trying, hey man, what's going on? How can this business school get better? And then something inside of me said, what grade would you get at business school? And he was so political, he didn't want to say anything. I said, come on, man, you got to tell me, what is our grade? Yeah. And he said, Dr. Green, I get a business school a D. I was hurt. I was not a D, but I was a D dean. And so I went and talked to my professors, talked to the faculty, and some of them rejected it, say they don't know what they're talking about, blah, 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 blah. But I carried that on my heart. And eventually I wanted more. So I went and talked to the student senate, sat down there, and I told them, hey, we're trying to reboot. We're trying to be more student focused. And I said, are there any questions? And a young lady in the audience that was from the business school said, blah, 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 about the business school. And I give you guys a 3 out of 10. And another sister who was graduating at the time, she was an accounting major. She said, I agree. In black church language, that meant amen. So we weren't even a D, we were 3 out of 10. And so I talked to my faculty. And I said, we got to rework this. Right. And believe it or not, majority of the faculty stood with us, and we revamped. We became more student focused. We actually had a dean roundtable where my first year, I had students come in and say, what we need to do. So we also tried to make sure that we changed the culture. So I started Donuts with the Dean. So every month I'd bring donuts. In the first year, I think about 300 donuts on campus with coffee, and it was crazy. I was at Oklahoma Baptist University for 7 years. I really enjoyed it. I moved in 2016. God moved me from being an engineer to getting in academia to make things better. I was there for 7 years. Great school, great heritage, learned a lot. But there was something I never will forget. There were a couple of students, there were athletes, people of color, and they said they didn't fit or didn't belong. Mm. And when I saw Langston again, the business school was down. I had a passion. I wanted to do something different. So a lot of times when a lead, like I've been a leader for several years, we go in and do the tactical things. Let's improve the grades. Let's get our faculty more trained. Let's get our students prepared. But I'm gonna let you know this is a very hard job because the dean is right between. You got the administration that's in Page, and then you got your faculty and you got your students. So you like standing the gap. And it's my first year, my blood pressure was 160/100. It impacted your health. It impacts your relationship. My wife is retired, and she didn't understand Monday through Friday. She thought 8 to 5, but I was working. I don't know, 8, 9 hour days, sometimes 6 days, rarely, maybe 7 days, and she did not understand that. So it could hurt your relationship. And so what I started doing, I started recording my life and what was going on. Mm-hmm. I started doing it on my social media. Yeah. I said everybody wants to know what is a dean's life, and so I would post videos. I would post photos of me being with my students and doing activities, and I started writing that stuff down. And I think God gave me the vision of, man, there are several different traits of being a good leader or being a good dean, such as one of the things we talk about is courage. Because again, a lot of people did not understand the vision that I had for the business school. So sometimes it takes patience. Yeah. And I think being a dean, you have to be wise. So what I was saying is a lot of times people want tools, but I'm saying a lot of things that we do is spiritual. And so that is what the Dean's Devotional is saying. All right, you could be a great leader, but if you don't have the inside, the core and faith and beliefs, then you're going to shortchange what you're going to do, because you're going to always go into opposition. You're going to always have adversity. I would like to have a lot of resources. I don't have a lot of resources. My faculty are very limited. And at one time we only had 3 faculty. So I think those things challenge you. And I just think from my standpoint, you got to have a spiritual component in order to be successful.
Absolutely. I want to ask, what was the leadership qualities that you grew up learning from any mentors that you had?
Oh, great. I think for me, it started with my parents. Started with Edward Elias. That was my dad. He had a 3rd grade education. And my mom, Annette Green Elias. Mm-hmm. My dad was a janitor. My mom was a chauffeur or domestic. And one of the couple of traits that my parents had that I always will never forget is that a sense of faith in God, that they were going to trust God. And my parents, I'm an engineer, so my first year, myself and my wife, we probably made more than my parents made probably in 2 or 3 years. And my parents never complained. So they had a keen sense of faith and belief. They had a work ethic that you could believe, and they didn't complain. So I think that stands out to me when I'm dealing with things that I never heard my parents complain about work. They never did. And a lot of times I use humor. That's a great weapon. I use humor to kind of diffuse the situation. And I never will forget, I was talking to one of we had a dean's meeting. Dean was sitting around, we're on Zoom, and I never forget, I think it was Dr. Harris. She was in school education, and we were on Zoom, and she was talking about something, and she stopped. Mm-hmm. And so we were on Zoom, so she stopped, and so I jumped in, and she said, "Excuse me, Dean Green, I'm not through." I said, I'm sorry. I saw you raise your hand. I thought you was praising the Lord. And and I think I threw the organization off balance with that statement. But I like having fun. I like enjoying ourselves. And I think we don't have enough students don't see faculty smile enough. Don't see administration smile enough. And I think that's what we brought when we came to Langston. We brought that sense of joy, the sense of hope, and just making fun, doing things. We just had a Mardi Gras event, and so I led the second line. That's like you have like a dance where you have people follow you, and I think I got on my knees, and I didn't know how I did that. The band played, and I got on my knees, and I don't know how I got up, but I did get up. I'm 60. I'm an old guy. And I got on my knees, and I was swinging. They had umbrellas going around, and if you know about the Mardi Gras, the New Orleans feel. But we brought a sense. We had community coming out. We had young people, old people, and I'll be honest with you, 18, 19, 20-year olds ain't hanging out with no 67-year olds. But we in the town of Langston, we in the town of Guthrie and Logan County, we're able to bring all these dynamic people together, and really that really turns me on. We can bring, we call it multiple generations together in a fun venue. That is what really excites me about bringing people together like that. So
You know, it's funny you say that because I know Dr. Ahmed, Dr. Hamilton, you, for instance, y'all bring a lot of humor to the classroom, energy to say the least. And it definitely brings life back into the school of business for sure. Like I'm definitely glad that you all have turned this thing around. I've been here long enough to see a very pivotal difference for sure.
Yeah. So I think, like I said, we go back to faith. I think 18 months. I think I had a lot of tactics. I'll be honest with you. I had quite a few failures. A lot of things I thought would work didn't work, and so a lot of times you have to go back to the drawing board.
That's right.
But I think 18 months. I think we've had one of the fastest turnarounds in Langston University history, especially School of Business.
Absolutely.
Because I think so each generation we also did put together a leadership legacy wall that's in 321. It's our lobby. And it's for me, that's one of my other greatest things I think I've done at Langston, is that I celebrated all the deans and leaders that came before me. So I think every leader had their calling and time they had to call. And that God brought me the 2 years that I was here, he brought me for this particular time to help Reese, deal with his situation, to help other students. And I stand on the shoulders of the deans and the leaders. Some of them were called directors, some of them were called deans, some of them were interim. But I stand on the show. That's what I think is great. It's kind of like being a king, and you're not the king, but you're part of that lineage. And I am very excited to be a part of a great lineage like Langston, University School of Business. So that really excites me, and to have great students that I think we have a niche. We don't bow down to any of the other state schools, whether they're research school or not, because one thing I think Langston does well, we know our students by name, and a lot of the students came to Langston, and a lot of them were not prepared. Whether they were from Chicago, New Orleans, Colorado, some of them as far as California and Washington State.
Yeah.
But what we do is we work with the students where they are, we meet them where they are, and we work with them. And they started off as coal, and by the time they leave Langston, they're diamonds. And so at Langston, we say, enter to learn, exit to serve. And that is what our motto, our mantra is. And I'm just so glad to be part of this Lion Nation.
You said you went to Oklahoma Baptist University to teach. So, give me your first impressions of HBCUs, rather than before OBU, and kind of tell me about your school spirit that you gained while being at Langston.
Okay. So I would start. I graduated high school, one of the top 100 schools in Louisiana, and I really made disappointed my teachers. A lot of them because they thought I was gonna go to Texas A&M, LSU, or Duke or MIT. And I went to the state school, Southern University A&M, major in mechanical engineering. And to be honest with you, I thought I was gonna be a writer, and but writers didn't make no money. So I chose engineering. They gave me a scholarship, but I met my wife. Yesterday is there. It was, to be honest with you, I loved high school, but college was the greatest experience of my life. So I entered as I entered as a boy, didn't know anything, you're under your parents' umbrella, and then all of a sudden you have all these vices, all these things to get into. You don't want to go to class, you ain't got to go to class. But it was just a great time. And just want to pay homage. One of my roommates just passed today. Uh, Shout out to Raymond Cotton. And in our Reese, you have a name, but when I was coming up, no one would ever tell you uh Daryl Green. No, if you go to Southern, they will not know who you're talking about because we all had nicknames. And Raymond's nickname was Sharky. We all had nicknames. And
What was yours?
it was GQ. I'm telling you this, Reese.
Well, you was fresh.
GQ, good quality. Cause I was back. I used to Reese. I know this. So for your audience, in high school, I used to break dance. I used to break dance in elementary, I think middle school, junior high school, because I couldn't slow dance. I couldn't slow dance, stepping on people's feet. But when Papa came out, Papa locking, doing all that stuff, I was a break dancer. But the other thing that I did in high school was I was a rapper.
Okay.
I was an educated rapper. I was in a white school. So you be king of the crime. But when I went to Southern, I got a humbling experience. I had a little notebook. The guys from New York was there in my room, and so they put on some music, and they started freestyle rapping, and they looked at me, and I just could I was
just lost for words.
I quit. I quit that. I quit because I knew I was not gonna be. I was not any good because these guys are freestyle, and I had a book. So, but my roommate, I was just saying, my roommate was there, and it was a great experience. So, what Southern gave me the confidence. They told me, you're gonna be in a world where you're gonna be challenged, and you got to be better than everybody else. So when I left Southern, worked for the Department of Energy, I had a chip on my shoulders. A lot of individuals, Notre Dame, Washington State, because I went to Washington. We moved to Washington State, and all these prestigious schools, and you had all these people coming from these little HBCUs, and we stood up. And I never forget, we always believe in excellence. So once I got on my own, I went back and got my master's degree like you doing. I went to help out. There was a small school in East Tennessee. Like Langston is the only HBCU in Oklahoma. East Tennessee, Knoxville College is the only one. It's private, Presbyterian, I believe. And I went there to volunteer. They had lost their accreditation. They were down. I think they were down to maybe 300 to 500 students. Great students, but just didn't have the resources. And I will forget. I said to myself, I am not going to ever teach at an HBCU because they're so under resourced. That you got good ideas, but you don't have the money. And so I kind of made that that I was going to. I always UNCF. There are 37 schools I've been given to since I've been out of school. Your Tuskegee's, the Howard universities. So I'll give. So I've always given to HBCUs. I always try to get a Southern University. And so when I was at OBU, great time, great experience, predominantly white university, but that whole thing about belonging, I tried to make my students feel like they belong, and my students could always approach me. So when I came to Langston, there was a bit of culture shock. Predominantly white, Christian school, Langston public school, African Americans. There's a little bit of a shock. But I had that sense of giving back. And that's something I got from my parents. All the institutions that I went to, there were HBCUs, predominantly black. There was that always thing of giving and serving. So that was different. I love the band. Like I said, I used to be in the band. I was a trick. One of my junior high school instructors, he was the band director, and he tricked me because he told me I was gonna play he told me I was taking the general music class, trying to understand that. And so I was also a football player, and he told me that I was gonna play the trombone. But then the summer camp, I guess summer camp came, and he gave me the tuba. And so I'm in the hood. I'm going, like my friends, they got trumpets, they got saxophones, they're carrying that. I'm toting the tuba going home, over the shoulder, walking, I don't know, I think about a mile, walking through the neighborhood, cool neighborhood. I'm walking in with tuba. So, but I have an affinity. I love music. And when I came to, believe it or not, I had not really heard the band. Again, I was not, that's like where I live is like an hour away. So I not really listened to Langston's band. In my first year there, I never forget that it was high school day at Langston, and the band came out. And when they came out and they played, I almost cried because I knew the sound. I said, man, I know that sound. And I found out that the band director graduated from Prairie View, Dr. Gordon. And so the sound that he had, that Langston was playing, was that swag sound. And that swag sound, you have a lot of horns. And so when I was at Southern, there were no females in the band. So that has changed. But that swag sound is a sound that'll make you cry because it makes, I heard the band play. We were at a basketball game, and I was in the home seating, and the band was up in the balcony. And when they hit you, you thought you was gonna be knocked out because the sound is so loud and powerful. So that is the black experience, that black excellence that you get at Langston. And again, not discriminate. We have some of the same. We have people from the Bahamas. We have people international. We have white students that come for our strong programs in ag. But it's just that sound, the experience. And one of the things I would say, there's a great sense of belonging. You find in your niche. And that is one of the things that really turn me out, is that you can find yourself, and you got all these smart people, where in other maybe predominantly white institutions, they don't emphasize the diversity, because a lot of times, right now we're dealing with anti DEI. We don't want that. But my thing is, we need different people, and I like having different voices. Even my students, I talk to when they have international students, international professors, and they say, well, they don't speak English, I don't understand. I say, hey, look, we live in a diverse world, and I challenge our professors, share your experience. We have people from, I think we have people from Taiwan, people from Nigeria, Bangladesh, India, and I tell my professors, share their experience with your students. Don't assimilate. And I think that's one of the things. I think at least in the business school, we are a global place.
You've been here as the dean, and I know you have found different opportunities for students to have scholarships and internships. And what type of ventures have you started for students to get said scholarship?
So that's a great point. So I think we need to put our money where our mouth is. So my first year, I my own pocket $5,000, at least 5,000. And so one of the things I care about is how do you continue this? And so one of the things I found out one semester, so we had 400 students one semester, and we had 225 students that owed the university over $1 million. And so here's what we know. If the student has a bill at a certain amount, whether it's $1,000 or 200, as low as $200, they can't graduate or they cannot enroll. So I've been blessed having corporate sponsors like Orvis Bank, One Oak, Bowen, to provide us money so that we can do, I call it lowering the bill. So what we try to do I think it's innovative. What we try to do is lower the bill, get the bill under $1,000, get that bill under $200, not relieving the students of their debt, but getting them enough so we can impact retention. And so those students don't drop out. And I think that's important. So in saying that, in January, I created 2 scholarships. I created a what is actually called is the Dean Green Retention and Innovative Scholarship Fund for students and for faculty. So for students, 2 scholarships. The one scholarship is just static. So we put like $10,000 in. The goal is put $10,000 in it, and as students have needs, it draws down. Okay, but then there's another scholarship that's an endowed scholarship that it hold like a CD or like a stock. Right. You hold it for 10 or 20 years, and the interest from that money would go to fund the scholarships. Beautiful. So one of the scholarships is retention scholarships. We want to keep students in school, but also the faculty. Our faculty, in most cases, they're doing a lot. They're not getting paid a lot. And so I would like to give them, say, $500 or $1,000 each year as an incentive to get better. So those are the 2 things that I've done. We also started the book. The book I'm working with a publisher. His name is Candid. He's an entrepreneur. He's a corporate person that left the corporate world, and he also is one of my business professors. He is a publisher. He's the publishing company is Walk by Faith. Daryl actually publishing the book, and we're giving 60% of the proceeds of the book, primarily going to. So you have to send it to his website. That's where we're going to get the most proceeds for the students. And my goal is,
what's the website?
The website is Walk by Faith. So you can Google it, Walk by Faith. Website, you can you can Google it and find it, or Ken Dowdy. And what I like about it is, like I said, proceeds, and he's managing that. And all I'm doing is just getting the word out and sharing the good news about what we're doing at Langston. And those proceeds will help students. So
you said 60% of that.
Yes. Wow. 60% of the book. So what my goal is to sell 2,000 copies by the end of this year. I sell over 2,000 copies. That's $20,000 for the students. And I can put $10,000 in each of those accounts. And each year that could be a goal. Yep. And I like to challenge other deans, other administrators to set their own account for legacy.
Appreciate your time here.
Appreciate it. My brother, you keep doing it. You finish school.
Yes, sir. I will. Got 1 more year left. So, is there anything or anywhere they can connect with you at on the internet?
Yeah. Sure. You know, LinkedIn. You can I'm going to tell you what they say in the trade. If you want to know about Dr. Green, you can just Google me. Google me and you'll find out about me. LinkedIn, I love to connect with students. I love to connect with corporate partners. Love to connect with alumni. You can connect with me I have my own website, drdarylgreen.com or advice@darylgreen.org. So just reach out to me. I love to interface with you, because Langston, we're on the march, we're on the move, and we got that pride.
That's right. Make sure you all get this great book, The Dean's Devotional, right now available in all stores, right?
We'll be in all stores. But here's what we say about this book.
Okay.
This book, buy a book, build a legacy, and build a future for the students.
Absolutely. I don't think he could have said it any better. Well, I guess we'll leave him with an L's up, though.
L's up.
All right.
Great review, man.